These are the stories topping the news. Independence surprise planned, labeling requirements to be made mandatory in Antigua and Barbuda, and Obama says Americans will not be intimidated. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ's Midday newscast for Wednesday, 3rd September 2014. I am JD Keynes. As the activities for Independence 31 roll on, nationals of St. Kitts Nevis, particularly residents of St. Kitts, will be treated to an independence surprise today, Wednesday, at approximately 12:30 p.m. Earlier this week, chairperson of the Independence Committee, Her Excellency Astona Brown, revealed that a special treat was being planned in Bastere. So, immediately after ZIZ's lunchtime news presentation, journey into Bastere and be part of the festivities. Meantime, the committee chairperson is calling on residents and citizens to show their national pride on Friday, 5th September, as it is being dubbed National Colors Day.
So we're asking our school children, our workers, our employers, our nationals and residents alike all over this island to be reminded to dress in your national colors. Last year, I saw some very wonderful hairstyles. Persons who actually depicted the flag, the national flag of St. Kitts and Nevis by the colors in their hair. I will not limit you to what you can do. The sky is the limit. You go right ahead and enjoy your country.
That was head of the Independence 31 Committee, Her Excellency Astona Brown. This year's Independence Ceremonial Parade will see some changes as a cooler setting has been identified to accommodate another major international sporting event. Speaking as a guest on this week's edition of ZIZ's The Round Table, head of the Independence 31 Committee, Her Excellency Astona Brown, revealed that the annual parade will be held at night.
The patriotic program and treats in our schools, as we said, will go throughout the daytime, and the ceremonial parade with the armed and unarmed forces will be held on the evening of September 18th, culminating on the early hours of Independence Day with the toast at Camp Springfield with the Governor General and the Honorable Prime Minister. Prime Minister, of course, will use that occasion to address the nation, and the fanfare of the fireworks, of course, will bring down the curtain on this special event.
According to Brown, the following day, Independence Day, will be dedicated to women, particularly women in sports.
On Friday, September 19th, our West Indies cricket, our female cricket team, will be playing right here in St. Kitts and Nevis at Warner Park on Independence Day. And that is a special event. We would want to even use that opportunity to big up the women folk on this occasion of our independence.
Independence 31 is being celebrated under the theme, A Nation on the Move, Celebrating Our Progress. The experience of St. Kitts and Nevis in adopting an effective debt reduction strategy received international attention at the 3rd International Conference on Small Island Developing States, ZIZ, now underway in Apia, Samoa. At a side event held in the margins of the conference, the Federation's Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, received high commendation from the Deputy Managing Director of the Washington-based International Monetary Fund, Mr. Min Zhu, for successfully negotiating and implementing its debt restructuring program with international financial institutions, most notably the IMF, and for reducing its debt to GDP ratio from more than 180% to 95% over a 4-year period. One of the challenges faced by small island developing states, ZIZ, is their heavy debt burden, which affects their ability to achieve sustainable development. Mr. Zhu informed the gathering that St. Kitts and Nevis has demonstrated to the international community the value of engaging all partners in a manner that would take into account the peculiar circumstances of the beneficiary country, in this case, ZIZ. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is optimistic that its level of engagement at the ZIZ conference will yield a number of initiatives that will assist in achieving its sustainable development objectives. And now in regional news, The Antigua and Barbuda Bureau of Standards is in the process of developing new regulations that would make it mandatory for businesses to comply with labeling requirements. Director of Bureau Diane Lala Rodriguez said the department is in talks with the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs to complete the process. Products appear on the shelves without the necessary information regarding their contents, and the Bureau has said the practice is against adopted standards. The Caribbean Community CARICOM is advancing work to implement a rapid alert system for the exchange of information on dangerous non-food goods. The aim is to prevent dangerous goods from entering the CARICOM region. We hear more in this report.
The Caribbean Community's Rapid Alert System for the exchange of information on dangerous non-food consumer goods is called CAREX. Consultations are ongoing in all of the member countries of the Regional Trade and Integration Bloc before the system is implemented. At the Ghana consultations, CARICOM's Consumer Health and Safety Officer Hilda Kelschel said that the monitoring system is critical to the region for issuing alerts and notifications on dangerous goods that may be on the market but that would not have been detected by international monitoring systems.
This region has in the past and even now continued to rely heavily on international institutions for information, either directly or indirectly, on dangerous goods that have made their way on the domestic or regional markets. The problem with this dependency syndrome is that some of these international institutions, particularly the federal and state agencies in the U.S., will only issue alerts when the dangerous goods or products in question are on the U.S. market. However, if the dangerous goods are in foreign markets, they are not obligated to act.
She said CARICOM is seeking to operationalize the rapid alert system in each member country of the region. The non-existence of the system exposes consumers to dangerous goods, said Ivani Innes, Executive Director of the Ghana National Bureau of Standards.
We know that because countries such as Guyana and other similar countries in the region do not have all the sophisticated systems to detect, dumping takes place where substandard goods are dumped on our citizens. So we have to ensure that we protect our people from such practice.
The government of St. Lucia has signed an agreement with the government of New Zealand on a partnership aimed at providing key technical assistance to support geothermal exploration and help define the prospects for advancing geothermal development in St. Lucia. The agreement is also designed to support training opportunities in geothermal energy through New Zealand development scholarships and facilitate, where possible, practical skills development opportunities, the government said of the pact, which was signed on the sidelines of the 3rd International Small Island Developing States Conference in Samoa this week. St. Lucia's government announced in February of this year that it would be following several of its regional neighbors and considering exploration of geothermal resources. Any potential project in St. Lucia would likely be located at the island's Sulphur Springs, Fletcher said at the time. Internationally, President Barack Obama has vowed the U.S. will not be intimidated after Islamic State militants released a video showing the beheading of American journalist Steven Sotloff. We hear more in this report.
I want to say that today the prayers of the American people are with the family of a devoted and courageous journalist, Steven Sotloff. Overnight, our government determined that tragically Steven was taken from us in a horrific act of violence. We cannot even begin to imagine the agony that everyone who loves Steven is feeling right now, especially his mother, his father, and his younger sister. So today our country grieves with them. Like Jim Foley before him, Steve's life stood in sharp contrast to those who murdered him so brutally. They make the absurd claim that they kill in the name of religion, but it was Steven, his friends say, who deeply loved the Islamic world. His killers try to claim that they defend the oppressed, but it was Steven who traveled across the Middle East, risking his life to tell the story of Muslim men and women demanding justice and dignity. Whatever these murderers think they'll achieve by killing innocent Americans like Steven, they have already failed. They failed because, like people around the world, Americans are repulsed by their barbarism. We will not be intimidated. Their horrific acts only unite us as a country and stiffen our resolve to take the fight against these terrorists. And those who make the mistake of harming Americans will learn that we will not forget and that our reach is long and that justice will be served.
As voters in New Zealand prepare to head to the polls, a new book based on emails hacked from a computer of a government supporter is sparking controversy. Prime Minister John Key is hoping to win a third straight term, but the scandal might put that victory in doubt. Al Jazeera's Wayne Hay reports from Auckland.
Holding children and posing for photos is the norm in New Zealand's relatively uneventful election campaigns.
In amongst all the selfies, this will be the election of the selfies. You do get a feeling for what people are thinking. You get a sense of whether the support's strong. I mean, I've got to say for us at the moment it feels very strong.
But this campaign has been unusually scandalous.
At the centre of the drama is this book by a left-wing investigative journalist. It's based on emails that were hacked from the computer of right-wing blogger Cameron Slater. The book alleges that staff within the government, including a senior cabinet minister, colluded with the blogger to attack enemies of the ruling National Party.
That minister has resigned just weeks before the election, but the Prime Minister believes his campaign for a third term is still on track.
You know, I think I've got a pretty big reservoir of support. I mean, people will see, look, it's politically driven, it's a left-wing agenda, it's, you know, pretty heroic in some of the assumptions it makes, and it was illegally hacked information.
The largest party on the left is Labour, and it says it had no prior knowledge of the revelations in the book. And so far, it hasn't seen any significant gain in the polls.
The ruling national government has been caught out, involved in some very dirty Watergate-type stuff. That's hurt them, but because the media focus has been on them, it hasn't been on us.
No one knows who the hacker was, but suspicion has fallen on German internet entrepreneur Kim.com, who has since boasted about his hacking skills.
And I hacked the German credit rating system because I wanted to put our Prime Minister's credit rating down to 0 because I didn't like the guy.
He lives in New Zealand but is wanted in the United States to face copyright infringement charges. He's poured millions of dollars into his own political party that's contesting the election, and he makes no secret of his dislike of John Key.
He's been an extraordinary diversion from actually getting on and putting out what John Key's potential third-term agenda will be. He's damaged Brain Key.
Kim.com says he wasn't involved in the hacking, but is promising to drop his own bombshell that will change the course of the election, meaning there could be more twists to come before New Zealand goes to the polls on the 20th of September. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Auckland.
And now for the weather. Today we will see sunny skies with a mixture of clouds. Winds will blow from the east-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures will reach a high of 30 degrees and a low of 25 degrees. Tonight will be cloudy with a 60% chance of showers. And that's it for ZIZ's Midday Newscast. Join us this evening when we present the details for our major news package. I have been your presenter, JD Keynes. Have a wonderful day.